All right, so today we are diving into a location that's completely decked out in purple.
Literally.
Yep, purple. We're talking about South Korea's Purple Island,
Right.
which is actually two islands, Banwol and Bokchi Islands.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm super intrigued. Imagine a place where even the phone booths are purple.
Wow. So let's unpack how a simple color swap turned these sleepy islands into this global phenomenon.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? Back in 2015, the South Jeolla province decided to combat rural decline with a tourism strategy so bold, it's almost unbelievable.
Wow.
Picture this. Two tiny islands, home to less than 150 residents, mostly elderly farmers.
Okay.
And now envision those islands transformed into this vibrant purple paradise. That was their vision.
I'm already intrigued,
Yeah.
but they didn't just stop at a fresh coat of paint, did they? What specifically did they do?
You're right, this was way more than a paint job.
It was like a full-on purple takeover. We're talking over 400 buildings splashed in purple houses, bridges, even phone booths.
Wow.
They even planted fields of lavender and purple bellflowers.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine strolling through that?
It's like stepping into an Instagram filter.
Yes, except it's real life.
Wow. That's quite a makeover.
Yeah.
But did it actually work? I mean, were the locals on board with this dramatic change?
Yeah.
And what kind of impact did it have on their lives, especially considering the majority of them were elderly farmers?
Well, the numbers speak for themselves. Since 2018, over 490,000 tourists have flocked to Purple Island.
Wow.
That's huge, especially considering the island's size and previous obscurity.
Yeah.
And this influx of tourism brought about an economic revival.
Okay.
We're not just talking about a few extra dollars here and there.
Right.
The types of businesses that flourish are diverse restaurants, bike rentals, you name it. This project brought a breath of fresh air, especially for the older generation who had witnessed the struggles of a declining rural economy.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So this purple project wasn't just about aesthetics. It was about breathing life back into these communities and creating tangible economic opportunities.
Exactly.
Did younger generations who may have moved away for better opportunities start returning as well?
Absolutely. The younger generation saw that their hometowns had something unique to offer.
Yeah.
And they started coming back.
Wow.
This project highlights how well-executed tourism initiatives can revitalize struggling areas and create sustainable economic opportunities, especially for aging populations in rural areas.
This is fascinating. It's amazing how a single color can be a catalyst for such significant change.
It's really quite something.
But it's not just the color itself, is it? It's the entire experience they've cultivated.
You hit the nail on the head. This wasn't a slapdash paint job. They carefully designed an immersive experience.
Right.
Visitors are encouraged to wear purple, and there's even purple-themed food.
Oh, wow.
This attention to detail creates those picture-perfect, shareable moments that tourists, especially those influenced by social media, crave.
Yeah.
It's genius,
Well,
really.
That's brilliant marketing.
Yeah.
Speaking of social media, they've also tapped into the whole I Purple You connection, haven't they?
Oh, absolutely.
For those who might not know, can you explain how this K-pop link factors in?
Yeah. So it's a fascinating example of how a simple phrase became deeply intertwined with a place. I Purple You was coined by V, a member of the global phenomenon BTS.
Right.
And it symbolizes their special bond with their fans, representing long-lasting love and trust.
So naturally, BTS fans, known as ARMY, would want to experience this purple paradise.
Exactly.
Did the creators intentionally weave in this connection, or did it happen organically?
It seems like a bit of both, you know?
Okay.
The island has a dedicated I Purple You photo zone, which definitely points to a clever understanding of pop culture trends and how to attract a specific, passionate demographic. However, the organic adoption of the phrase by visitors and its connection to the island's aesthetic further cemented this link.
This all sounds incredibly successful.
It is.
But are there any downsides to this kind of single-theme transformation?
Well,
What happens if the allure of purple fades, so to speak?
right.
Or if, for some reason, this K-pop connection loses its shine?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it brings up essential considerations about the long-term sustainability of such projects. The island is heavily reliant on tourism.
Right.
If visitor numbers dwindle, it could have a detrimental impact on the local economy, especially for those who have invested in tourism-related businesses.
It's a delicate dance between progress and preservation, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
On the one hand, you have this incredible success story of economic revitalization and community revival.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you have to wonder about the potential pitfalls of putting all your eggs in one very purple basket.
It's true. Yeah, it's a balancing act for sure.
Right.
And it's crucial to remember that this island has a history that goes beyond its purple makeover.
Okay.
Before Instagram, before BTS, these islands were once home to salt farms, a period marked by forced labor.
Yeah, that's a stark reminder that beneath the surface of every seemingly idyllic destination lies a complex and often challenging past.
Right.
It's important to acknowledge and understand these layers when you say.
Yeah.
But tell me, with this booming tourism industry, what's it actually like to visit Purple Island today?
Oh.
Our sources mentioned a bridge, lavender fields, even a specific dress code.
It does sound like you're ready for a virtual tour.
I am.
And yes, the entire experience seems deliberately designed to reinforce that purple immersion. Imagine this. A 1.5-kilometer long purple bridge connecting Banwal and Bakchi,
Wow.
practically begging to be photographed.
Wow. Talk about a statement. I can just picture myself biking across that bridge,
Yeah.
surrounded by sparkling ocean on either side.
Beautiful.
Are there dedicated bike paths throughout the island?
You're spot on.
Oh, cool.
There are dedicated paths winding through those vibrant lavender fields, which I can only imagine are stunning during their peak bloom in May.
Wow.
And remember how we talked about visitors wearing purple?
Yes.
Well, they've taken it a step further. You get free admission if you're wearing purple.
Okay, now that's just genius marketing. They've turned a simple suggestion into a fun, interactive element that transforms the landscape into a sea of purple.
It's true.
Plus, it plays perfectly into that shareable experience they're cultivating.
Exactly.
Did our research mention anything about what kind of food they have available? I'm picturing a lot of youb.
You're not far off. They've got purple-themed cuisine, all right? From what I've gathered, they've really considered how to create a well-rounded experience that caters to different interests.
Okay.
It's not just about snapping selfies and marveling at the purple hues. Yeah.
You can hike up Mount Yoji for breathtaking views, explore local restaurants, and really immerse yourself in the culture.
It sounds like they've thought of everything. But this all raises a question for me.
Yeah?
How do the locals feel about their home essentially becoming a living, breathing tourist attraction? It must be a huge adjustment from their quieter way of life.
It's crucial to acknowledge that not everyone is comfortable with the trade-offs that come with increased tourism.
Right.
While our sources suggest that many islanders, particularly the older generations who've witnessed firsthand the struggles of a declining rural economy, seem to embrace the change.
Okay.
It's important to remember that's not a universal sentiment.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Change can be challenging even when it brings economic benefits.
Right.
So how do you balance the economic benefits of tourism with preserving the island's unique culture and identity?
Right.
How do you ensure that the island doesn't lose its soul for the sake of a trend?
You've hit on a critical point.
Yeah.
The tightrope walk.
Right. And there's no easy answer. One approach mentioned in our research is the United Nations World Tourism Organizations, or UNWTO's, recognition of Purple Island as a world's best tourist village.
Wow.
This designation isn't given out lightly.
Right.
It highlights destinations committed to preserving their cultural heritage while promoting sustainable tourism practices.
That's really encouraging to hear.
Yep.
It shows that global organizations are recognizing their efforts and that there are ways to leverage tourism as a force for good, not just for economic gain, but also for cultural preservation.
Yeah, definitely. And it needs, ongoing dialogue and collaboration between residents, government officials, and tourism stakeholders. Finding that sweet spot where everyone benefits, where tourism enhances, not erases what makes a place unique, is key.
Right. Yeah, it feels like Purple Island presents a compelling case study in the complexities of modern tourism. It makes you wonder, though, are there any plans in place?
Yeah.
If the tourism dries up, how are they protecting their economy from being completely reliant on tourism?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
And from what I've gathered, it's something they're actively addressing. Diversifying their offerings beyond just the purple theme seems to be a priority.
Okay.
They're promoting local crafts, showcasing traditional music and dance performances.
Wow.
And even offering workshops on things like natural dyeing techniques using
Okay.
You guessed it.
Purple ingredient.
That's a fantastic strategy. They're essentially weaving the purple theme into the very fabric of their cultural heritage,
Right.
creating an experience that's both unique and authentic.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant way to ensure that even if the initial purple frenzy fades, there's still substance and depth to keep visitors coming back for more.
Exactly. It's about creating a sustainable model that celebrates their identity and resonates with those seeking more than just a fleeting Instagrammable moment.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive.
It has. We've explored how a simple color can spark economic change, cultural preservation, and even global wanderlust. But beyond the purple, it really highlights the importance of responsible and sustainable tourism development.
It really does. And it begs the question, what other creative transformations could we see in the future?
Right. What if other towns decided to lean into a theme? Could we see a green island in the Amazon promoting ecotourism and rainforest conservation? Or a blue island in the Mediterranean celebrating their coastal heritage and marine life?
The possibilities are endless, but as we've discussed, it's not just about picking a color and adding a fresh coat of paint.
Right.
It's about understanding the nuances of a place, respecting its history, and involving the local community every step of the way.
It's about telling a story, creating an experience that goes beyond the superficial.
Right.
What do you think? Could this model work in other locations?
It certainly has potential, but it requires careful consideration of the potential downsides of relying too heavily on a single industry like tourism.
Right.
What happens if visitor numbers drop?
Yeah.
How do you diversify your economy while preserving the very elements that attracted tourists in the first place?
Right.
It's a delicate dance.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
But the visual appeal of Purple Island is undeniable.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what other transformations are out there. Could we see a city entirely dedicated to celebrating a beloved author, or a region that transforms itself into a living museum of its own history?
That's what's so exciting about this case study. It sparks the imagination.
Yeah.
But the key takeaway from Purple Island is that authenticity matters.
Right.
It's not enough to just create a spectacle.
Right.
It needs to be rooted in something genuine, something that resonates with both locals and visitors alike.
Well said. This deep dive into Purple Island has been a fascinating exploration of how a simple color can spark economic change, cultural preservation, and a bit of global wanderlust. What color would you choose for your dream destination? And what stories would your community tell through that choice?
That's something for our listeners to mull over.
It has been an absolute pleasure diving into this topic with you today.
Likewise, it was great being here.
Thank you. And to our listeners, until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the world around you.